Hey, all my hair comrades. Rick here. Hope that you're doing good today. A great video for you. We're going to do a comparison. I'm going to be comparing 4 Superhairpieces units. The HD111, which you guys know is my all-time favorite, go-to forever in my whole life. We're going to compare the HD111, the M11, the M11 XT, and then go all the way the other end of the spectrum and compare the M101. So stay tuned. We're going to get to the facts here. Oh, excuse me. Got a little carried away. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. Let's jump right to it. Let's start with the HD111. What do I love about this unit besides everything? I love everything about this unit, including everything. Checks every box. The skin is 4 mils thick, which is very, very thin skin unit, so much so that Superhairpieces advertises it as disposable. And anytime you hear the word disposable, hear them saying this to you. Here's your hair system, but please be careful. That's kind of what that's saying. So they can't guarantee this thing to go through a hurricane and a flood and a tornado and an earthquake and still remain in one piece, because they wanted you to have something that is so completely and utterly undetectable that they were willing to go out on a limb and say, we'll create that, but just know you got to be careful. Now, the durability of it, I don't have one complaint in the world. To me, it just lasts. It doesn't shed a lot, or I would almost say hardly at all. The only place it will shed is right around the front hairline, to where it's thinner anyway, and the skin is probably a little bit thinner there. You know, you cut that one little super thin piece off. And so if it thins around the front hairline, then there's too much of the skin showing all of a sudden. So I just trim that off and pull it just a tiny bit, that 1/16 of an inch forward that I've cut off, and it's still fine in the back, and I go again for weeks. So great. I love the density of it. I love the texture of the hair. I love the fact that I don't feel it on my scalp. I love the fact that no one can see the front hairline under a microscope. You're not going to find it. You're not going to find it. And so yeah, my all-time go-to is the HD111, 4 mils thick, 95% density throughout. This is dark brown with, I believe, 40% gray. Works perfect for me. And so yeah, if you want kind of the best of everything, I sort of say this. Honestly, I do. All right, let's move on. M111. M111 is what I have on my head presently. So I'm going to let you see it in this video. Kind of turn my head around side. Does that look amazing or what? I just put this on my head this morning, took it out of the box, put it on my head, stuck it on my head, my dummy head, if you will. And I'm not talking about my wife. Oh, please don't tell her I said that. She'll see this video. Okay, so you see, it looks super good. Can I get the back to you? Let's see. Probably. Yeah, pretty good. You know, I always give my wife a hard time anyway. I walked up to her this morning. She's kind of mad at me all day so far because I said, hey, babe, do you know what handsome men say to beautiful women? And she said, no. I said, I didn't think so. Wasn't my most shining moment at all. Okay, back to business. M111. What is the difference in this one and the HD111? Well, let me get up close to you. Let's see if you can tell. Now understand, I've got a massively bright light ring shining on this thing. So that part in this light looks like it's about 1 inch wide, but it is not. It's just because of that light. If you were here looking at me just in normal circumstances, you wouldn't think anything about it. So remember, there's just 80% density around in here. So if you're one that did not have a really thick head of bio hair and it was fine and it always just kind of combed and, you know, you didn't have great big full thick looking hair, this M111 will suit you really super well. I like it. As a matter of fact, if you told me, hey Rick, that's the only one you can ever have again, I wouldn't think twice. I think, okay, it's great. I love it. Yeah. So M111 is thinner density, It's 4 mils, the skin is, same as the HD111. It just starts out with a little less hair, which means it's actually a little more natural looking, a good bit more natural looking. And that sounds like I'm talking against the HD111. You guys know I'm never going to do that. So yeah, but front hairline, let's let you check it out. Hello. Yeah, pretty amazing. I know when I traveled to Ontario to do some photo shoots and some videos and some things like that for them, and I walked in the first time, this was the comments I would get. They'd walk up, "It really does look that good." So, well, it's your product. I would hope that it would look that good. So the M111, still 4 mils thick. It is 95% density around the edge, just like the HD111, but it is only 80% density around the rest of the body of the hair system. So that lets you have a thinner, more natural look. And for some of you, that'll probably be the perfect answer, because you won't want this HD111 big hunk of hair. If your hair was always super thin and fine, it'll be too much for you. So what I love about the M111 is the natural look of it. I love the mill of the skin. I love the way it feels on my head, just like the HD111. I'd be perfectly happy to settle with this if this was the only option for me. All right, so anything else I need to say about this? Treating it, everything is just like the HD111, except you just start with less hair. So know that, you start with less hair. So let's go all the way down to the M11 XT. I've already done a couple of videos on this one, and you know I have said that I loved it. Someone asked me this question. They said, do you ever say anything negative about any of the hair systems from Superhairpieces? Do you ever say anything negative about the company? And I thought, you know what, I know how that sounds. That sounds like, oh, they're paying me something. Well, I get hair every now and then. But I also hope that I am a man of integrity, because I hope you can tell and sense that what I'm doing here is as sincere as I know how to make it, because I don't see the point of being any other way. I want to be honest with you. Excuse me. How do you like that cup, right? And if there was something negative, I'd say it. Are there other places to get hair? Well, a few million, I suppose. But let me tell you why, the reasons I stick with Superhairpieces. Number one, I love their hair. It's quality. And so, as I mentioned, I went to visit them from Texas to Ontario, and I met the owner of the company. I met all the people that work there, and the environment of the place was really second to none. I don't know when I went into a place, and I have sensed so much, let's work together to make this happen. Everybody was happy. No one seemed to have an attitude. And I asked George, man, how did you pull this off with this staff? And he said, they're a great bunch. I said, well, they certainly seem to be. Maybe they were all on their best behavior because I was there, who knows? But I don't think so. But then George, the owner of Superhairpieces, sincere, upfront. I just can't say anything but good things about him. So I love the hair, but I love the company. I love what they stand for. And I don't know. I just love the whole vibe of the place. If I'd have gone in and that had been, I've owned a business and ran a business for years. And one of the things I would say to new employees, the minute you screw up my peaceful vibe here, you get shown the door, because life's too short to deal with that. And it is. And so I was always very blessed in that way. And so that was it. I just liked the vibe. And so I love the company. I love doing this for them. And they help me a little bit in return, which I appreciate. But anyway, back to business. The M11 XT, super thin skin. This skin is, compared to the HD111 4 mils, is 2 to 3 mils. Well, you might ask, well, is 3 mils and 4 mils, is there a lot of difference? Yepper. There is. 2 to 3 mils compared to 4 mils, there's a lot of difference. You can look at this. It's kind of stretchy even. I'd felt funny if that thing would have went rip. And so I've made a couple of videos already about this, and I'm going to make another focusing on longevity, because I think I've had this sucker right here on my head 5 times now. That means 5 times it's gone on, 5 times it's come off, 5 times I've cleaned it. And so let me tell you this, as cautious as Superhairpieces was, because they're so dedicated to giving you a 100% natural looking hair system, because that's what we all seem to want, when they came up with this new model M11 XT, they kind of gave it to me like this. Okay, Rick, here it is. Ugh. Please be careful. They're almost scared, right? And so I was a little worried. As a matter of fact, I cut this unit much shorter than I normally do. I wore it kind of all come forward in a faux hawk, which I thought I liked. And so I've taken it off 5 times now. And here's the deal. Hello, Superhairpieces. It looks just like it did the first day. It hasn't shed any, which is kind of miraculous. And you guys have heard me say, talk about, this one's got a rip. Well, look right here. Does that not make you sick? Look at that chunk out of it. I don't know. I got some of the glue in my bio hair, and my bio hair stuck to it, and I had a comb, and I was, what is that? And I thought it was just in my bio hair, so I just put some alcohol and went, well, when I looked at the comb, it had a big hunk of skin on it. Crap. Well, when it's on my head, you can't tell it, I promise. It's long enough around the edges that it covers it, so I'm gonna wear the heck out of it. Anyway, so the M11 XT, where the HD111 and the M111 disappears, this sucker vanishes. It sucks down to my head. I can't feel it at all. You can't even begin to search for the front hairline. And, you've seen how great this M111 looks. Well, I suppose it gets to the point, how could it look any better? Maybe it's more about how it feels, because it feels non-existent as well. So it's awesome. Again, if they were to tell me, Rick, this M111 XT is all you can ever have again, I'd say, great, let me have it. I wouldn't waste a minute worrying about it. If you were to give me a choice, however, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go right straight to this HD111 with a big gap out of the back of it. So there's that. 2 to 3 mils thick. Density is 90% around the rim, 75% around the middle. That is thin. Where this one is 80% in the body of it, this one is 75%. So this one is much thinner all about than any of the others. But you talk about natural looking, you talk about seeing your scalp throughout the whole hair system, it doesn't get any more natural looking than that. And it doesn't look like you're balding, of course, but it just looks like you're a dude that doesn't have very thick hair. Can't see that front edge. So yeah, 100% completely and totally undetectable entirely. You don't feel it, it's undetectable in that way. You can't see it, it's undetectable in that way. And the durability, if you were knowing I had this on 5 times, that could translate into 5 weeks, and it still looks just like it did when the first day I ever worn it. So, success story with this. Please be careful with this system. Yeah, be careful. But hey, if it can hold up under me, as impatient and reckless as I am, then you got no problems. So let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Let's talk about the M101. Well, let me get comfortable, sit back, cross my leg, and take a sip of tea. What am I going to tell you? Here the sucker is. Let's start with what I liked about this. Where we were talking density, we got the HD111 at 95, goes down to 80, goes down to 75, And you've heard me say the HD111 at 95% density is really thick. It's a lot of hair. Then let's jump up to this bad boy, and how does 110% density sound? Well, if you're thinking thick, let me spell it out for you. Capital T-H-I-C-K. It is thick. Super thick. Thick to the point that if you don't have some bio hair around the edges, and it's thicker around the edges, this might not be the perfect choice for you. I've had this on my head one time, okay? And my experience was surprising. Let's talk about the skin. We go from 4 mils to 2 to 3 mils to, again, hold on to your hat. Hold on to your wig. 8 mils. This skin is 8 mils thick. That means, dang, it don't stretch, it don't give. This thing, you could, honestly, I think you could wash it in the dishwasher. Don't do that, but it is sturdy. So I put it on my head, and I thought, oh, this is gonna feel crappy. I'm gonna feel it. It's gonna be hot. It's, you know, a few years ago, I wore this unit, and it's the one that I have on, I believe when I did a video when I'm at the beach and Sheila and I are in the travel trailer, and I talk about having a trouble with the front edge and how it finally laid back down. But this is what I said, and I quote myself, it felt like a scab on my head. Well, so I put it on this time, and maybe it is that I've gotten better at doing this, or maybe I've gotten more used to having something on my head. I don't know what the reason was exactly, but my experience was different. And so I get it stuck on, and I'm expecting the front hairline to be obvious because I believe their website says not intended for brushed back hairstyles, but for something that's combed kind of forward. So I put it on my head and looked close. Guess what? To my utter amazement, this 8 mil thick skin at the hairline, I couldn't see it. I could not see it. It was like, what? How is it that I can't see that? Now what I could see is that when I brushed this back, because that's so thick, it literally looked like I ran into a wall of hair. It was just like, hair right there. So I did it kind of down in a faux hawk. I did it back kind of like this is. And I don't know, I guess it's because I do like variety and I do like change. I liked it. Who knows? Maybe I'm not that picky, but you guys know I am. I mean, if it does not meet certain criteria with that front edge, it is a no-go. And I apologize, this video is 18 minutes already, but I think this is valuable information. But so I combed it back. This note to Superhairpieces had more curl in it, and when it was came in the package, you know, it was all curled up instead of just combed down and under. I love this curl. This curl is a winner for me. Let's do that some more. So I got it styled, and my wife thought it looked good. You just got to be prepared for a lot of hair. I'm going to post a picture up here for that so you can see how I looked with that much hair. And it might have been just a little bit darker, which I didn't mind that. But if you're a person that had always had a thick head of bio hair, and you have a lot of, it's still there around the edges, and you had a lot of hair on top that was super thick, and you were accustomed to having a lot of hair and it was never flat on your head because you had so much, then the M101 might make you super happy. Now, I also thought, okay, I'll bet you the front hairline looks good today and maybe tomorrow, but after that, I bet it starts breaking down and getting obvious. 4 days later, 5 days later, yeah, I still couldn't see it. I am as shocked as I could ever be shocked at that. Now, the one big difference was, I am not gonna lie to you, I could feel it on my head. As a matter of fact, I'd raise my eyebrows, you know, and do this, and this forehead would wrinkle up a little bit, and I think, oh, I feel that. Where these thinner skins just kind of go with the flow. This thing did not do that. I did feel it, but it wasn't a big negative. I mean, I got used to it pretty quick. I don't know how it would be in the heat and humidity of summer for me. But again, the M101 is still something I could live with. If I had to do that, I could live with it and I would like it. If you're one though that wants durability and you're saying, well, yeah, but Rick, that M11 XT, man, if I have to buy one of those every month, that gets kind of expensive. And I talk to guys that say, how often do you have to buy one? You know, the money factor is a big deal. And so I'm honest with them. So if you want to buy one unit every 6 months, you can do that with this. The M101, you can buy 2 of these a year and you're more than good. Indestructible. It's not going to shed. The skin's not going to rip. I mean, Rick can try to do a Rick rip on this baby all he wants to. I can rip that thing off and it's not going to hurt it. I mean, it is durable, strong, and sturdy, and still maintains a really natural look. I think hair probably on 8 mils of skin that's not quite as thick, particularly in the front, that was a little thinner right in the front, might be a huge winner. But I'm going to wear it because there are times I enjoy having a lot of hair, and so the days I do that, I'm going to wear that M101. So that's how they compare. Let's go through it right quick. M101, 8 mils for skin. HD111, M111, 4 mils skin. M111 XT, 2 to 3 mils. So they get thinner and thinner and thinner as they go down. The M101 is 110% density in the front and 100% in the rest. It's a CC shaping. The HD111 is 95% density with a CC shaping. The M111 is 95% to 80% density with an A shape, and the M11 XT is 2 to 3 mils with a 90% to 75% density A shape. So there you have it. If you want something crazy comfortable that vanishes on your head, M111 XT. If you want something that's a little more durable but still not real thick hair, M111. If you want something that's durable and still has a little hair on it, and that is thicker hair, HD111. If you want something that is indestructible, that has massively thick hair, that you don't have to replace very often, M101. That's all you gotta know. One of these is gonna fit you. There's, like they say, there's something for everybody here. And I am just crazy enough that I say, let me try them all because I like different things. And I don't care if the whole world knows that I wear a hair system. You think that maybe is true? That I don't care that the whole world knows? I think France knows, Spain knows, Germany knows, Switzerland knows. Everybody knows that Rick Douglas doesn't care, and I don't. I have a great time. I love doing these videos. And guys, you have called me. I've had call after call after call. I have done video consultations with guys who said, man, could I just talk to you? Could we do a video consultation? Sure, call me. And I'm going to very soon have something set up on this channel to where you'll have information to be able to do that. I enjoy it. Ask me anything you want. Any questions are welcome. I love the fact that you all have subscribed to this channel. Let's just tear it all up and let's look the best we can look. And big shout out to Superhairpieces. Remember, if you want to buy hair, use the code RICK10. That will save you about 10%, I believe, and help me out just a little bit. And we'll all do this together. So, hey, peace out, guys. It's been fun. It's been real. Hope you have a great, fantastic day. Yeah.